A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1 coming to you live and direct from Studio R here in the heart of Colombo. I'm Jaimal Ratnayake for the Newsfirst team. Good evening, Michaela.
Good evening, Jaimal. Before we head into more news in detail, here's a look at headlines.
A Lion Air flight makes an emergency medical landing at the Bandaranaike International Airport with 2 dead bodies. 2 Indonesian nationals admitted to hospital. 50,000 unemployed graduates to be recruited before the 1st of March.
මාර්තු මාසේ පළවෙනිදාට ප්‍රථම මේ රටේ රැකියා විරහිත උපාධාරී දරුවන් සියලුම දෙනාටම රැකියාවල් ලබා දීමට මේ ආණ්ඩුව පියවර ගන්නවා.
Notice issued to Rajitha Sena Ratna to appear before court yet again. Partali's driver seeks permission from court to make a statement. The government analyst says that the country do not have facilities to inspect the foreign garbage containers.
In your top story, 2 passengers on board a Lion Air flight that made an emergency landing at the Bandaranaike International Airport this morning were admitted to the infectious disease hospital in Colombo. 2 other passengers on board the plane had already passed away when the aircraft landed at the Bandaranaike International Airport. 1 passenger admitted to the infectious disease hospital was in critical condition.
The Lion Air flight had made an emergency landing at 2:45 this morning as 2 passengers on board the plane had fallen sick. However, when airport officials examined the 2 Indonesian national passengers who had fallen ill, they had already passed away. Another passenger who was 70 years of age on board the plane was also suffering with an illness, and the bodies of the 2 deceased passengers were sent to the Negombo hospital. The passenger in critical condition was transferred to the infectious disease hospital in Colombo. According to officials at the Negombo hospital, body parts of the deceased passengers were handed over to the National Medical Research Institute in Colombo for investigations. The cause of death has not yet been identified. Hospital officials confirmed that another passenger who accompanied the 70-year-old to the IDH in Colombo was also admitted for observation. The 2 deceased passengers as well as the 2 passengers admitted to the IDH were all Indonesian nationals. An emergency medical inspection report has been called in to identify the nature of the disease. According to police, one of the deceased passengers was a 64-year-old male while the other was a 74-year-old woman. The flight JT85 that made the emergency landing was an Airbus A330-900 aircraft belonging to Lion Airlines. The flight had taken off from the King Abdulaziz International Airport in Saudi Arabia at 5:30 p.m. local time and entered the Sri Lankan airspace 5.5 hours later. The flight was travelling at an altitude of 39,000 feet above the seas of Trincomalee at a speed of 541 miles per hour when turned back to make an emergency landing at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Following the bodies of the 2 deceased passengers being handed over and the other 2 passengers being dropped off at the BIA, the flight continued its journey to the Surabaya Airport in Indonesia after a 6-hour delay. 285 passengers were on board the flight, and Sri Lankan hospital officials said that all passengers on board the plane should have been inspected. The Indonesian embassy said that they are attempting to contact the relatives of the deceased passengers. According to the embassy, future action on the deceased passengers can only be taken after contacting their relatives.
The Court of Appeal today ordered the Secretary of the Ministry of Justice to hold an investigation on the notice issued to the government analyst over the garbage containers that were imported into the country. The order was issued when the case filed against the importation of garbage containers into the country was taken up at the Court of Appeal today.
The court had previously ordered the government analyst to obtain samples from the garbage containers and submit a report on the impact it has on the human body and the environment. The government analyst has informed court that they do not have the required facilities to examine the samples. Thereby, the chairman of the Court of Appeal, Yasantha Kodagoda, and Justice Arjun Obesekara ordered the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General to guide the Secretary to the Ministry of Justice to instruct the government analyst for an inquiry. The bench at the appeal court hearing the case expressed their displeasure over the fact that the government analyst had failed to report on the progress of the examination of samples, although it has been a long time since the bench was ordered to present a report on the matter. Court ordered the Secretary to the Ministry of Justice to present his report on the 13th of next month. Senior Solicitor General Milinda Gunathilaka, representing the Attorney General, informed court that discussions are underway between the Central Environmental Authority and the respondents of the case to send the garbage containers back to its country of origin. court also pointed out that the orders issued by court does not in any way obstruct the attempts made to re-export the garbage containers to its country of origin. The Centre for Environmental Justice had filed action in court seeking an order to send the garbage containers stacked at the Colombo port and the Katunayake Free Trade Zone, as these containers contain human remains and other items that may adversely impact the environment and human health.
Today at the Colombo High Court, a suspect carrying 13.2 grams of heroin was given the death penalty. Now, in addition to that, several more court cases were heard. Here are more judicial proceedings that happened today.
A businessman who was found guilty of sexually assaulting an underage boy was sentenced to 30 years of imprisonment by Colombo High Court Judge Shashi Mahendran. The convict is a resident of Purwarama in Kirulapana. The High Court judge also ordered the convict to pay the victim a sum of 600,000 rupees. Dilum Tusita Kumara, the second suspect in the case filed against former Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka over an accident that occurred in Rajagiriya in 2016, has requested permission to make a special statement before the magistrate. Kumara, who worked as a driver of MP Patali Champika Ranawaka, is on bail by the Colombo Magistrates Court on a prior occasion after surrendering to the police. Our court correspondent said that the attorney representing the second suspect made the request at the official residence of the magistrate Kanjana Neranjani. Notices have been issued on former Minister Rajitha Senaratne to appear in court on the 17th of this month. Notices were issued by the Colombo High Court Judge Manjula Tilakaratne. The Colombo High Court issued notices on the former minister after deciding to take up the revision application filed against granting bail to former Minister Rajitha Senaratne for consideration on the 17th of this month. Rajitha Senaratne, the third suspect in the white van media briefing case, was arrested on the 27th of last month while he was receiving treatment at a private hospital in Narayanpeta. The Colombo Chief Magistrate granted bail to the former minister on the 30th of last month. The Attorney General filing the revision application has requested the court to revise the order for bail issued by the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court and place former Minister Rajitha Senaratne in remand custody as the suspect was granted bail within 3 days without even recording a statement.
Meanwhile, the President has instructed officials to ensure that the recent tax cuts are implemented. The release says the Presidential Secretariat continues to receive complaints from the general public as well as reports from both print and electronic media that the tax benefits, particularly from the reduction of VAT on the sale of goods at both retail, wholesale and import points, effective from 1st December 2019, has not passed on to the consumers. The release adds His Excellency the President has instructed the Consumer Affairs Authority and Inland Revenue Department to closely monitor this situation and also urged the business community, importers, manufacturers, wholesale and retail distributors to ensure full benefit of tax reduction is passed on to the consumers and the general public.
Now the government is preparing to provide jobs to all graduates, irrelevant of whether the degree has been obtained, completed externally or internally. Now, Minister Dallas Alahaperuma expressed the following views in this regard. Minister Dallas Alahaperuma, during a media briefing convened this morning at the SLPP head office in Battaramulla, said the proposal to provide jobs to all graduates will be submitted during the next cabinet meeting. As per the manifesto of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the present government will take steps to provide jobs to all unemployed graduates before the 1st of March this year. Statistics at present show that there are more than 50,000 unemployed graduates. We will disregard their political preferences, their age, the subjects they have specialized in, or whether their degree is external or not. We will only consider their level of intelligence. Those who have studied maths, science, English and aesthetic subjects will be recruited to schools. Meanwhile, the government has decided to provide jobs to all graduate monks. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, during the event last evening to present the Vijinipata to Venerable Gonaduwe Gunananda Thera, expressed the following views in this regard. Graduate Buddhist monks have been recruited as development officers in divisional secretariats. I believe they are more suited to be teachers at schools and guide the future generations. The cabinet has decided to give them appointments as teachers. Minister Janaka Bandara Tennakon explained today the government's program to provide permanent appointments to development officers.
මම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා අපේ රජයට ඒ සංවර්ධන නිලධාරීන් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඉස්තිර කරලා දෙනවා.
While the government clarified facts on the program launched by the government to provide jobs, the opposition alleges that the government has forgotten the core issues faced by the general public. When I checked this morning, the price of a kilo of bee onions was over 500 rupees. A kilo of leeks is 450 rupees. Carrots are 450 rupees. Beans are 350 rupees. Although rice is priced at 98 rupees, you cannot buy rice at that price anywhere. The people who ate milk rice and sambal after the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa can't either eat milk rice as rice costs over 100 rupees and they cannot eat sambal because bee onions are priced at over 500 rupees. Not only that, we were planning on giving government servants an allowance of 3,000 rupees from the 1st of this month, but none of these have been given. The problem here is where are the people who spoke out against these? The vouchers that we gave school students was worth 1,000 rupees. Now it is only worth 525 rupees. Do not convert a family dispute between two brothers into a national issue. They are saying that they want to abolish the 19th Amendment so that the younger brother can get the powers exercised by the older brother and not because they want to solve the issues of the country. If they want a two-thirds majority in Parliament to enact the manifesto of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, we are ready to support that. The ruling party responded to these allegations raised by the opposition, citing that the process of providing concessions have been hindered because there is no majority in Parliament. It is true that our President and our Prime Minister both hold ministerial portfolios in the cabinet, but the Parliament still belongs to Ranil Wickremesinghe. Only 89 MPs are there to represent our party in Parliament. 136 members represent the faction that is against our rule. Therefore, there are obstacles to implement some things in President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's manifesto that was presented to the people of this country. There are issues within the Parliament when it comes to passing a Finance Act or an interim supplementary estimate.
අතුරු පරිපූර්ණක ඇස්තමේන්තුවක් සම්මත කර ගැනීම පිළිබඳව ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa issued a warning in Mirigama yesterday.
We can see indications that Iran and America are preparing for war with each other. We hope and pray that such a thing does not happen. But in the case that war breaks out, I would like to speak to you about the risks that our country will have to face. We need to prepare as a country to face all possible futures and formulate a strategic plan to face these issues. 10% of our tea exports go to Iran. If war breaks out and we are not able to export tea to Iran, what will the country have to face as a result of the loss of this export income? We need to look into these issues. There are hundreds of thousands of Sri Lankans, our fellow brothers and sisters, mothers, working in the Middle East. If a war breaks out, on one hand there is a risk to their lives, and on the other hand there is a risk of losing their jobs. But they think that speaking of these matters are irrelevant. For them, what he said to her and what she said to him are the most important national issues of the country. Another phase of the public rallies to thank the general public who provided their support to the UNP at the presidential election was conducted in Loluwagoda, Mirigama yesterday.
Was a copy of the forensic audit on the controversial central bank bond issuance leaked, even in the face of advice from the Auditor General? Now, parliamentarian Ajit P. Pereira expressed these views at a meeting in Bandaragama today.
Very serious evidence has come to light showing that these bond scams have been happening before 2015 when Ajit Niwad Cabral was the governor of the central bank. So they are hiding this report to hide that. However, it is clear that a copy of this report has reached Ajit Niwad Cabral, as he has publicly stated that he does not accept the findings of this report. That means he has already received a copy of this report. There are a few people in this plan. All of them need to be punished. If the former governor of the central bank, Arjuna Mahendran, has fled the country, he must be considered a suspect on the run and have charges filed against him. Today, this government is not prioritizing the punishing of bond thieves or to punish those behind the Easter bombings. Why is this the case? Is there a deal? Is there an internal transaction? This must be inquired into.
Now, a special party meeting chaired by the Speaker Karu Jayasuriya was held at the Parliament today. According to our parliamentary correspondent, the Attorney General's expert opinion about the possibility of providing the reports of the forensic audit made on the central bank's bond issuing process to the parliamentarians who are not in the COPE was discussed at the meeting.
The party leaders' meeting began at 11:30 a.m. today. Party leaders and representatives decided to make nominations and selections with regard to the composition of committees in Parliament at today's meeting. The Speaker has informed all present to make nominations formally to the General Secretary of Parliament by 3 p.m. on Thursday. The proposal to this effect will be added to the parliamentary agenda on the 21st of next month. Meanwhile, it was also decided that Parliament will be convened for the session between 1 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. on the 21st and 22nd of January and again between 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. on the 23rd and 24th of January.
මට හිතනවා සමගි සම්පන්නව මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳ ගන්න උත්සාහ කිරීම තමයි.
I think that the people who support the party should think of how to solve this issue and move forward together. Everyone should sit at one table and decide on this matter. If this issue is not resolved by next Thursday, it will definitely affect the upcoming general election. But there is another solution to this. Talks are on regarding a broad alliance. That does not mean the establishment of a new party. It is essential to form a broader alliance against the government. I believe that Sajith Premadasa should lead such an alliance and provide political leadership to the country and ensure victory at the next general election.
ආරම්භ කරලා අපි ජයග්‍රාහී ගමන ආරම්භ කිරීම හොඳයි.
Thurston College celebrated its 70th anniversary today under the auspices of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Marking the 70th anniversary, a Na sapling was planted under the auspices of the Prime Minister.
විශේෂයෙන්ම සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා අද මේ පාසලේ 70 වසරක් පිරෙන වෙලාවේ. ඇවිල්ලා වචන කීපයක් හරි කතා කරලා යන්න.
I am happy to speak a few words today as the school celebrates its 70th anniversary. If it was 6 months ago, I would not have gotten this opportunity. The school's principal would have not invited me either. At one point, Thurston College was identified as a school that only absorbed students who were expelled from other schools. That phase is now over. Today, it is an era where people go behind politicians to admit their children to this school.
ඒ කාලේ පැන්නා කියලා. ඒ යුගය ඉවරයි. අද ඒ යුගය අවසන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. අද මේ පාසලට ඇතුළත් කරගන්න, දරුවෝ ඇතුළත් කරගන්න දේශපාලනින්ගේ පිටිපස්සේ යන යුගයක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
The police special task force destroyed a ganja cultivation which was being operated under the guise of an orchard cultivation in Vennapur.
The STF carried out a raid in Bolavatta, Vennapur based on a tip-off received. The operation was taking place within 50 perch plot of land and was concealed using coconut leaves. More than 1,000 pots of ganja plants were seized and the racketeer and 2 employees of the cultivation was also arrested. Investigations revealed ganja seeds were purchased by the trafficker of a sum of 10,000 rupees per kilogram from Thanamalvilla and Siembalandur, following which they have engaged in the cultivation.
A Chinese national who attempted to smuggle 200 scorpions out of Sri Lanka was arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport.
Customs said that he was taken into custody by the airport security when he arrived at the Katunayaka airport to travel to Guangzhou, China. According to customs officials, it is prohibited to carry scorpions from the country and further investigations are being conducted into the incident surrounding the arrest. The suspect had attempted to smuggle the scorpions out of the country concealed in his travel bag.
Now, the scorpions mentioned in the story before have been forfeited and handed over to the Department of Wildlife Conservation. A fine of 100,000 rupees has been imposed on the suspect. Now, certain institutions operating in the tourism industry claim there are several anomalies in the recently introduced tax concessions. Newsfirst's Zeenat Musafir filed this report.
The tourism industry is the third largest foreign exchange earner to Sri Lanka. In 2018, Sri Lanka marked its highest point with nearly 2.3 million tourists coming into the country and earning more than $4.3 billion as income. Following the April attacks, in May, Sri Lanka suffered a 70% decline in tourist arrivals. Although the tourism industry and the number of tourist arrivals has been steadily increasing since April, many industry officials claim that the recovery process could have been expedited if government officials had focused more on overseas promotion.
We feel that the tourism sector is picking up very slowly after the Easter Sunday attacks we have had. I think one of the reasons for this is that we have not done any promotion or any recovery plan as such in the past few months. And we have had an issue with the recent VAT reduction given to the tourism industry. The role the inbound tour operators play is a very important role where we bring in the tourists into the country around 80%. This had not been highlighted in the reduction of the VAT granted to the industry, but we have spoken to the authorities regarding this and they're looking at it very positively. So I'm sure we'll be able to settle this in the next coming days.
CNN Travel has selected Sri Lanka as one of the best places to visit in 2020, and last year Lonely Planet ranked Sri Lanka as the #1 travel destination. However, when compared with 2018, annual tourist arrivals fell 18% to 1.9 million tourists in 2019 from a previous 2.4 million tourist arrivals. During 2018, India topped Sri Lanka's tourism market, with UK coming in second and China coming in third, Germany, Australia, France, Russia, USA, Maldives and Canada making up the top 10 source markets.
But so far so good, and everybody's very friendly and very generous.
We're really enjoying. I talked to the group before and everybody's loving this country. Everybody's so friendly.
In promotion, just counting the number of expenditure or amount of money we expend on the promotion is not sufficient. Therefore, we have to see the quality of the promotions and the continuity, consistency, and the coordination of the promotion, but without having any research-based finding. So, therefore, we don't know exactly what market, in which way, and which segment we have to promote our tourism.
The tourism industry in Sri Lanka has always been a story of untapped potential, but will this story be the same in another 5 years' time? While we certainly hope it would not be, many are confident that the tourism industry will bounce back again in 2020 and recover fully to its previous state. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Zeenat Musafir.
Now, a decisive meeting regarding the leadership of the United National Party is scheduled to be held next Thursday. Here are some of the views expressed regarding these discussions.
After a meeting held in Parliament today, journalists questioned MPs on the future plans of the United National Party. The group is meeting on Thursday and we will be able to resolve this then. We are confident that we will be able to resolve this issue on that day. The majority of UNP MPs support Sajith Premadasa. Ranil Wickremesinghe does not need to hand over the leadership of the party to Sajith Premadasa on a silver platter. Sajith Premadasa should contest for the position and secure it. That will happen. We hope that there is a complete change in the United National Party on this Thursday, because the leader has said that a final decision on the matter will be reached on Thursday. The chief organizer of the opposition, Gayantha Karunatilaka, also spoke about the future plans of the United National Party when he met with the chief prelates and the Anunayaka Theras of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters. We will meet again on Thursday and hold discussions among the party seniors. We will listen to views expressed by all factions. We will consider the requests made by the general public and decide on the question at hand. My personal view is that if we need to solve this issue within the party, we could hold a secret vote. Majority of MPs in the party support Sajith Premadasa. Although I don't speak too much about this to the media, if we go for a vote, I will cast my vote for Sajith Premadasa. But my opinion is that we should unite as a party and as the main opposition of the country and move forward together. Journalists questioned UNP MPs on the leadership crisis of the party at media briefings held at the Sirikota party headquarters and the office of the opposition leader today. It is justified to appoint Sajith Premadasa as the leader because he will be appointed as the leader of the party in the future. There is no challenge within the party. There is no one else. If there is a group who steps back to fulfill the needs of the Rajapaksas and are having deals with them, we will work within the opinion of the general public and take steps to win the next election in a way that the party does not divide. We do not have to hide that. There is no need for a leadership council or any other mechanism. Nobody has asked for anything like that. Only 1 or 2 people are asking for this. Our opinion is that the people's choice must be respected.
We would like to apologize to our viewers for the slight technical glitch that we experienced a short while ago. However, taking a look back at a story from here at home, now the new chairman and board of directors of the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines has been appointed.
As such, prominent businessman Ashok Patirage has been appointed as the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines. The newly appointed members of the Sri Lankan Airlines Board of Directors are Brandix Group CEO Ashraf Omar, Dilma Group Director Malik Fernando, Presidential Advisor President's Council Manohara De Silva and Sanjay Mohotala, the Asia Pacific node for Boston Consulting Group's shipping, transportation and logistics sectors.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for today. I'm Jamal Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Michaela Fernando. Thank you for watching. Good night.